Hey, morning Spurs fans. Paul Hotspur hippie here in a secret mountain hideaway on a 25-year-old laptop. So I hope that's working all right. I hope you're all doing. Nice to be back. As you can see, I've got professional lighting set up. I could have a light shining on my face, but it feels like I'm being interrogated. So you're just going to have to make do with it, as it like my bald head is making a total eclipse of the sun or something. Hope you're all well. Let's just have a quick look at some news, because I can read it on a separate thing. Lots of speculation as usual, nothing confirmed. It's all off-season guff from Fleet Street meatheads, but we'll see how we go, I'll just do a couple and then I'll get to the chat. It's very cold in here, so maybe my voice is a bit croaky, but we'll push on. So last word on Spurs. Giovanni Lo Celso has interest from Aston Villa and Villarreal and is expected to head out of Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, well, there you go. Couldn't hang on to him. And they also say Harry Winks is also expected to head out the club. They don't say where he's heading out, where to. He's just heading out. He's just had enough. He's just walking away. We'll see you, Harry. Thanks for all your service. Also from last word on Spurs, Ange Postecoglou will look at Brian Hill in pre-season to see whether he can adapt fully to Premier League football, as he does tick plenty of boxes that Postecoglou is looking for. Who's saying what boxes they are? I don't know. I don't know if we know what Ange's boxes are, but they're saying he's ticking some of them. So, and that's apparently reported by good old Alistair Gold. And I'll do one more and I'll get to the chat. Last word on Spurs again. Tottenham Hotspur do hold strong interest in Harvey Barnes. Spurs have explored a double deal, not just one but two, a deal for Barnes and Maddison. What can we just get some defenders? Get some defenders and a goalkeeper. Although the club continue to claim that no bid has been made. Well, then nothing's happening, is it? God, my voice is very croaky. Hang on. Where's the old cough button here? Just woken up. Haven't done a stream for a bit, so I thought I'd just get in there. I haven't done my la 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 la, my vocal warm-ups. I hope the audio is okay. If you can let me know in the comments when I get to them. Spurs are also looking at young alternative wingers who can play on either flank, who fit the requirements of having the ability to beat a man with pace and skill, be strong enough in transition, and be able to pass high up the pitch. So they're looking like for really good wingers then, isn't they? That's what wingers do. Well, there's a few things. Oh, hang on, there was a defender there. I saw a defender. I'll just get to that one. Again, last word on Spurs via The Athletic. Reported Tottenham Hotspur transferred Aymeric Laporte looks certain to leave Man City this summer. Okay, but is he coming to us? He's made 172 appearances since signing for City for £57 million from Athletic Bilbao, but has fallen down the pecking order this term. I think he's the guy, statistically, I looked and he was only slightly, according to statistics, which all the mad kids on the internet like these days, he's only like a gnat's cock better than Eric Dyer. So that tells you all you need about statistics, isn't it? Anyway, we've got a few in the chat. There's some grist for the mill. Let's see how you lot are doing. Oh, there's a few people here. Let's have a look here. How do you scroll up? 15 years. Here we go. Tot Spurs, big up, Paul. Hope you're good, bud. Yes, I'm doing well. Beautiful mountain air. It's Nats Cox. It's not Nats Cox degrees Fahrenheit. It's Brass Monkeys degrees Fahrenheit. That's what it is. But it looks like a nice clear day. Probably some kangaroos hopping around outside before long. Never fuck with a kangaroo. Forget all this talk you hear about snakes and spiders. Kangaroos are the ones that will get you because you think, actually, I'll put my hat on. There we go. That's a bit warmer. And it shields the extra ocular rays bouncing off my shiny head as well. Yeah, kangaroos. Oh, look at the little kangaroo. And then bang, bang, you're kicked into oblivion. Moondog, g'day, mate. Evening, Paul. How's the mountains? Mountains are beautiful. Going to go out and do a bit of walking and just farting around later today, seeing what's out there. There's some really good walking tracks here. Going to go down and have a look at a waterfall a bit later. That is a bit off the beaten track, so there's no queue of American tourists going click click click. You got to struggle to get down there, and sometimes getting back up is a bit too hard. But we'll see how we go. I haven't done it for a while, see if my weary old 51-year-old bones and knees can make the climb anymore. Not the man I used to be. Steady Shark, Wayne out hippie. Well, I've arrived. Here we go. Here's Nate. Big up, Paul. Big up, Nate. Nice to see you. There's a few floating around. Nice to see everyone. The sheriff. Big up, Paul. Hopes you well. All tickety-boo, son. All tickety-boo. Born to lose. Nice to see you, man. G'day, Paul. And to all in the chat. Yep, there we go. Oh, they're all in. Audio artisan. Oh, look at this. Richie B. Hey, Paul, let's hope we get some players out the door this week. Well, the old revolving exit door is heating up, isn't it? There's a lot of players. So the rumours are so far Lo Celso. What do you lot think about this? This is great, I reckon. But you know what? Should I try putting that light on? Well, there's lots of things plugged into this power board here, and I'm around a mate's house, so if I unplug it, it might unplug his life support machine, and I'll just hear from next door. So I don't want to fuck with anything. As the natural light comes in, my face will look lighter. Yeah, some players out the door. So the latest two that I just read out there. So Lo Celso could be gone. Winks could be gone. There was rumours the other day of him going to French League One club FC Lorient, mid-table team. Maybe Winks is going for the double. 2 relegations in 2 countries in 2 years. I mean, has that been done before? It'd be quite an achievement. They talk about Harry Kane not having ambition. Harry Winks is on it. Who else we had rumours of? Eric Dyer's contract negotiations stalled, which is nice. Who else was there? Davinson Sanchez wanting a challenge outside the Premier League, a new experience. Maybe that new experience is playing football because he hasn't been doing that for a while. They're all flying out the door. There's not so many flying in, but it's nice to have a few leaving, isn't it? Nice to have a few leaving. He's fast, energetic, and loves to press. Are you talking about me or who? I don't know who. Who are you talking about? Oh, Hill. Here we go. You answered my question. God, you must be psychic. You typed that in, and then you thought he's going to ask who I'm on about. Brian Hill. Yeah, you see, the only thing about Hill is, and you're right, he does run around and he does press, and he does for a little fella, he does win the ball awfully well up the pitch, doesn't he? It's just that what he does with it's not productive enough. Although maybe that just takes a bit more time. Maybe he's used to it. I don't really buy all the he has to, beef up. Football's still a game where people of different physiques can play. If you're a bit on the my frame side, like a lanky streak of piss, you just have to hop over these marauding thugs that are trying to take your legs out, don't you? Aussie Ardealers could do it. So we'll see. We'll see. It's up to Ange, isn't it? Ange, a man who hasn't even started work yet. He's not even he's like still over a week away from starting. But he's getting involved. He's getting his fingers in the pie. He doesn't want anything to fuck up before he gets here, so he's absolutely on it. He was supposed to be on holiday. I have to have a sip of water. God, I'm not used to talking this much. He's supposed to be on holiday, but all he's doing is he's sitting in his Ange cave, surrounded by 50 monitors, having a Vegemite sandwich and a single malt whiskey, just letting all his football knowledge pass into his brain. Complete football brain genius is Ange Postecoglou. Richie B says Ali Gull, one of the few reliable sources. Everyone's been a little bit hit and miss, I think. I think Ali Gull was, he was on the old Slot Nagelsmann bandwagons there for a bit when that was looking like we were going to get them, and my hope was starting to dwindle because my Ange dream was fading away. I think, I really don't. Slot I didn't mind, but Nagelsmann, no. He's too academic. He's too, getting his notes out and all that. There's not a lot from here. There's too much from here with him. Too much science, not enough art with Nagelsmann. Even though he tries to look all artistic with his skinny jeans, probably drinking soy latte and eating tofu. That's not footballer, is it? It was steak and chips and talking about getting in people's heads, not psychology and tofu. But all that's academic now because I finally got my man. Richie B sounds good. Okay, nice, because I've got a bit of a fan heater because it is bloody freezing. I've got about 5 layers on here at the moment, waiting for the whole countryside to warm up. But that's good. Thanks, man. Thanks for letting me know. Hotspurs. By the way, I'm just gonna read a few things and then we're just gonna waffle like we usually do. The longer you talk, the longer I keep going, really, because I really enjoy this. And you see the expensive branding. Ooh. Hotspurs. I hope Ange has been on the phone to Levy, asking what the heck. I'm sure there is exact words. Hotspurs. Levy, what the heck takes so long for us to come to an agreement on Maddison? Oh, so you're keen on getting Maddison in? I'm a bit ambivalent about him. I think I'm the only one, so I'm probably unaware of his talent. I haven't watched him much. The only times I've seen him play are against Tottenham, and I think maybe one England appearance. So nothing really has caught my eye there. But everyone seems keen on him. I just think, who would he replace him with? So I'm kicking things down. Trying to cross my legs, get a bit comfy. I can't cross my legs and stick them under a table. Maybe if I... Oh, no. That's the wrong button on the chair, isn't it? There we go. There we go. If I do that, then I'll do that. There we go. Oh, that's better. There we go. I like to be comfortable. So you're a Maddison freak. Everyone seems to be up for Maddison. I haven't seen it, but we will see. Born to lose. I'd love Hill to be given a proper go by Ange. I really think we'll live to regret it if we let him leave permanently. Yeah, I mean, there's something in there, isn't there? But like I say, his end product seems to be just just a bit underwhelming sometimes. But maybe he just wasn't given enough minutes. Has anyone watched him play for Villarreal this year? Has he done the business for them, or has he been like a bit of a I don't know, Harry Winks bugger all minutes, hasn't he? He just comes on when when the game's on balanced on a it's balanced on a let's get a prop here. Yeah, it's balanced on a knife edge. Knife edge. You could go either way. So they bring Winks on, and then they probably lose. I don't know. Wayne Bonner, how's it going? Yeah, it's going well, man. Going well. And I'll say I did a quick video yesterday because I'm about an hour and a half west of Sydney, in the middle of nowhere at the moment, and there's a place even more of the middle of nowhere, and I only found this out maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. This is how little I know about Australia. There's a place called Tottenham, and it's right out in the bloody, probably out in the desert and bugger all, and it's a little village. And I did ring them up a while ago, and I said, you got accommodation? I said, yeah, and I said, oh, because I was thinking I might just come over because I support a team in London called Tottenham, expecting there to be some sort of recognition, maybe I was half expecting that in the pub they'd have like the Bill Nicholson statue that we should have outside White Hart Lane, loads of Spurs memorabilia. He didn't know what I was fucking talking about. It's right, okay. Now, like, how can you live in a place called Tottenham and not have heard of Tottenham Hotspur? But anyway, they're out. It's a very isolated place. There is a football ground there, which or a sports ground, and I did look on Google Earth, and I was disappointed to see that it's more like a cricket oval, like an AFL pitch. So I don't think there's any goalposts there, because I did have in my head, it'd be nice to go to Tottenham Sports Ground and score a goal, but I don't think I'll have the opportunity. But I might make the opportunity. Bugger it. I'll put two coats down for goalposts and still bloody do it. So yeah, it's just a silly road trip. I've done lots of road trips around America, seeking out stupid things. Concrete arrows. If you want a bit of trivia, I'm not going to explain it now, but if you just look up concrete arrows in the United States, there's a story there, and I used to like finding those things. There's a little bit of bit of home research for you. Concrete Arrows USA. What's it all about? Keith Edwards, just tell me Dyer is gone, Paul. I can't confirm that for you, unfortunately. I could say it anyway, just, it might make you feel better. But then when we're outside of the reality of the Hotspur hippie bubble, the bubble of peace and love everywhere on the world, but except on the pitch, the only psychedelic soccer channel on the internet, and yeah, I will call it soccer, bugger it. Sometimes I just use the words interchangeably. I'd love to be able to tell you that, but I'll be very excited when it happens myself, really, because man, that guy's got to go, hasn't he? Oh, geez, I haven't been talking 15 minutes, and what I'm having a Davinson Sanchez lack of energy already. Hang on. Always happens. I always talk and then I fade. That's all right. We get going with some nicotine and caffeine. All right, here we go. Why is Raya not signed already? Levy penny pinching as always. Look, I'm not sure, but yeah, that was my initial reaction, Top Spurs, about the why don't we just get the deal done? But I have heard enough people come out with the argument that Brentford are taking the piss with how much they want for him, and so maybe it is worth getting them down a little bit. I see there's been a couple of reports here and there that we're looking at other goalkeepers. Now, I don't know if that's bullshit, just to put a bit of pressure on Brentford, or whether we are genuinely looking around for goalkeepers. I mean, we definitely do want one, don't we? So, there's probably going to be a little bit of Tottenham tax on there. I think Brentford have already bought a bloody replacement, though. So, I maybe hold out a little bit longer. But the fear is that, you might be right there, and we might ask for too much of him. But that was one player when I saw us play Brentford. I really quite liked the look of Raya's jib. I thought he had a really good game. So, but that's totally unreliable because I thought I'm not impressed with Maddison because he didn't have a good couple of games. Whereas Raya, I'm going, oh yeah, sign him up. But outside of playing Tottenham, he might have been dog shit. I don't know. But he seems to be the people's choice at the moment. And I like what he said yesterday about he wants to leave Brentford and he wants to further his career and he wants to win titles and he wants to play in Europe. And it seems like he wants to come to Tottenham to do that. So I really like that attitude, that mentality. It means to him that Tottenham isn't a club that always loses and chokes and all that, because all that is bullshit. Anyway, what a load of wank. We all know who the real chokers are at the moment, don't we? Yeah, it's Twats FC round the corner. Twats FC with Arteta's Alibaba light bulb. Oh, Keith Edwards here. I can see Chelsea nicking Raya. Nah, man, they're gonna. No, I reckon Chelsea they're gonna find the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, and then pay twice the price for him because that's what Bowley seems to do. He seems to just say to, how much do you want for him? 100. I'll give you 150. Loads of money. He's just one of those guys that doesn't get football, isn't he? He just think he's used to the American, the American draft system, where American sport maybe it's more individual based, like maybe not so much basketball, but American football and baseball. It's all kind of based around individual skills more than a esprit de corps. And he just comes from that environment, doesn't he? He thinks, I'll just buy the most expensive players and then we're bound to win, aren't we? It's not football, mate. It's not how football works. Unless you're Man City, then it might work a bit. But you're not. You've only got Poch. Forgotten his first name. Some guy called Poch. Some lunatic coach that comes in talking about lemons and the power and energy. They ain't going to work with that lot. They're going down. They're going down to the Championship. You mark my words. They had enough relegation form last year, albeit it was the mighty fat Frankie Lampard in charge. But they were lucky that the season ended so soon. If it went on another couple of months, they'd be plummeting back to the oblivion that they emerged from. Bloody Chelsea. Wayne Bonner, Hill has to be given proper time next season. He's our next huge player. All right, well, this is a big rap coming here from Wayne. Next huge player. Been saying that since he signed. It'd be a mistake to let him go. Well, you're not the only other one, Wayne. Brian Hill has his fans out there. Like I say, I kind of like. There's a lot about him I do like. I like it. His enthusiasm and his attitude seem to be great. It's just that last little bit, but maybe that can come. So I'm not opposed to Brian Hill coming back. The only thing is I don't all these deals that we do. I mean, we ended up giving Villarreal 20-odd million quid and Lamella, and they've still got Brian Hill. So I'm worried when we get Brian Hill back, do we have to give them more money and another player and then give them Brian Hill back? Has Villarreal got something on Levy? They got I don't know. Has he been over there in a hotel up to something he shouldn't be doing? I don't know, man. It's a weird old deal, that one. But okay, Brian Hill, give him another chance. That seems to be what internet nutters seem to be saying. Spurs medical team talk. I don't have a hammer to hand. Is there anything else? I'm in a mate's house, so let me just see. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll do this. Get the. This is a more precision Spurs medical tool. Just to, what they do. They just get that. It's for lancing humors. That I think you've got 4 different humors in your body. You've got like bile, blood, and saliva, or whatever those 16th century physicians used to say. Well, our Spurs medical department reckon if it worked back then, it will work right now. So they'll just gently get it out and then pull out, I don't know, pull out all the evil spirits and bad voodoo. Bloody Spurs medical department, they can start me on them. We're running out of hammers, I know. Well, how can I work with a tool like that? You know, you can't bash someone's ligaments back in with a corkscrew. You need a hammer. What's round here? What's round here? Nothing. See, I'm stuffed. If I have an injury up here in the Blue Mountains, how my mate's going to treat me? You know, no hammer to bang the ligaments back in. Oh, you're talking to each other. I'll ignore that. That's not a knife. No, it's. I'm not going to do a lot with that one, am I? But actually, I've got a big knife in my bag, just useful for things. Carving walking sticks. That's about it. Was going to get a nice fire going in the backyard going last night, but it's a bit. It was a bit windy. You know, it needs to be nice and calm because you just get smoke in your face and all that. But if it's a nice calm night, I might have a go. Because there's nothing like sitting around a fire. I don't know if you've done it for a while, but it's better than any TV. I can just sit out there for hours. Daniela Zito, hello there. I reckon Raya gets announced sometime soon next week. What do you reckon? Well, if you're feeling it in the cosmos, who am I to argue? You know, it could happen. Be nice, wouldn't it? Because you know, goalkeeper and a centre half. As soon as we get those two in the door, anything else is a bonus for me. That's what we need to do. We've been neglecting those positions for years. Hugo, when he signed his 2-year extension, the whole deal was that we were supposed to get in some protege, some apprentice to learn all the Hugo ways of the art of goalkeeping, and then bugger all that. And we got in Ben Forster, who's done really well as a backup keeper, but he's not like a kid in apprenticeship. He's always like Ben Foster. He's always, not Ben Foster. What's his name? Fraser Foster. Ben Foster's the guy that's gone to Wrexham and all that. Fraser Foster. You know, and he's had a distinguished career. He's won a low with Celtic. He's done well for us. But it would not be nice to get a number one in. Born to lose. Hill, and I picked a really good time to stream as usual because I just stream when I feel like it. So it's early morning Australia, or is it 7:30 here, which makes it probably 10:30 p.m. in England. Is it a Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night. So everyone's gone to work, worried about what work is gone to bed, worried about what's going to happen at work tomorrow. America, I don't know. They're probably floating around having barbecues out the back of pickup trucks or whatever they do on a Sunday over there. So basically, bugger all people will be watching. But thanks for hanging around. Born to lose. Hill was on loan to Sevilla, and they won the Europa Cup, Europa League. I know it's crazy, eh? Another player escapes Spurs and wins a trophy. Even Ndombele's won a Serie A, but I think the mentality is going to change, though. You know, and you're right. At the moment, it seems to be players they get out of Spurs and then they can like flourish. They can blossom. They can, you know, spread flowers of skill and wizardry all over the pitch. But I think that's because of the regimes we've been having, isn't it? That's because we've been having, you know, the likes of Conte and Mourinho. So, you know, it's like their team talks is now whatever you do, guys out there, don't forget, don't play football. Don't play football. If you start playing football, we're going to lose. So stop playing football. Just stand around like a brick wall, you know. Let them come on to us, and then we'll get one over the top and score on the counter attack. I mean, wow, champagne football at its finest. Except when you got our defence, they just let everything bloody in, don't they? But hopefully that'll be a thing of the past. All right, Richie B. Brentford want too much money. Even Ray said that. Well, yeah. Well, there you go. So, Davinson Sanchez. Oh, sleepy. Well, my gut reaction because I did a video on this a few days ago when I was just walking around after fishing and the fish beat me yet again, was that why don't we just pay the bloody money? But you know, there's more and more people saying, well, he ain't worth that. I think he's got a year left on his contract. Why would you pay 40 million for him? So, you know, I want the deal to get over the line, though. I do want the deal to get over the line, and but it doesn't look like anyone. I haven't really heard of anyone else having a sniffer in Raya. It just seems to be us. Which I suppose, if you look at the big teams, or the ones that could, you know, there's not many teams that have got more money than us, which is weird, or spending power. There's not, you know, all the money's sapped out of football at the moment. Maybe the bubble's starting to burst. Maybe the game is coming back to the people. That's what I want to see. So what other clubs are going to spend that money on? And where, you know, it looks like teams have got quite settled keepers in at the moment. Or if any of them would be looking for an upgrade, I don't know if Rail would be an upgrade. So it does look like we hold a lot of power in our hands. So maybe haggle a bit, you know. And I hate saying that because usually, I guess, you know, because Levy always tries to get 5 million off no matter what. That seems to be his modus operandi. It doesn't matter if a player's worth 100 million, he'll want them for 95. If they're worth 5 million, he'll want them for free. But that doesn't mean to say all bargaining is wrong. I think he just takes it way, way, way too far, way too far. But you know, we've got Kulu, I think, a bit of a discount, so it can work. It's just when it starts dragging out for weeks, it's just bloody annoying, isn't it? Mark, the sheriff, says, think that Levy must have hypnotised Raya in his interview about winning titles. Nah, it wasn't Levy, man. It was the power and influence of the mighty Ange Postecoglou, in effect, because, you know, must mean Raya's got a football brain. And when you've got a football brain, it's like you can see other people with football brains too. Like when you're an academic, you know, talking about psychology and looking at notes and drawing squiggles on a whiteboard about tactics. That's all bollocks, that is. But if you're a football guy, you can see how this guy understands football. And really, if Ange had a talk to him, then Ange said, well, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go out and try and win title. We're just going to try and win everything. That's what we want to do. And when players hear that and it sounds sincere, maybe that's very attractive to them. So I think it might be Ange that's hypnotised the players. And the other thing that Ange can do is he can hypnotise teams we're playing. They just can't cope with us. They won't be able to cope with us. I'm getting more and more excited about this season. Talking too much. Mark Cousins always got a fire going when night fishing. Can't beat it. Yeah, there's no real. I didn't bring my rod up with me. Because there's no like fishing. There's not much fishing here, and I prefer saltwater fishing to freshwater. So I didn't bring my $30 rod. That's probably why I don't catch anything. It's the $30 rod. Didn't even get a bite the other day, bastards. It was prime chicken. Well, it wasn't prime chicken. It was 2 days after the sell-by date. So, you know, maybe the fish can recognise that sort of thing. Chris, g'day, Governor. How you going, man? Nice to see you. Daniela Zito, how many new signings do you think we'll make this summer? Name them if you can. Well, you're asking me to pull a whole load of stuff out of my backside here, because if you're new to the channel, you will understand I don't actually know much about football. But how many new signings? That's a good question. Let me see what I can think. Well, goalkeeper, centre back, maybe 2. Right, ideally, goalkeeper, 2 centre backs, left back. Maybe someone in midfield. I mean, that's 5, and I think that's a lot. How many did we make last summer? We made about 6 or 7 last summer. And I was excited about last summer's window. But it didn't turn out so well, did it? Jed Spence was a complete mystery signing. and Perisic, who's, I believe, at this very moment playing a game of football for Croatia. Let's see what the score is there. Let's see if it's Dobra or Pichka for Croatia. Of course, you can't ease Croatia football. There we go. All right, so the final result there, 0-0. Spain won 5-4 on penalties. Okay. So maybe, and Perisic was, I know the other day he was playing, he was actually playing left back. So let's see. Yeah, he's playing left back, which usually when I've seen Perisic play for Croatia, he's been one of the front three. So maybe they're so impressed by Perisic's defensive form for Spurs, they've stuck him at the back, which I find really weird because I thought he was useless as a left back. But or maybe this is a good sign for us. Maybe he's been so good at left back, he'll just slot back. Maybe that saved our left back. I don't think so. I can't see it. But I guess the short answer to your question is like I'm not really fussed on how many. I just want ones that I want signings that come in and walk into the first 11. I don't want to be buying squad players and players for the future and backup players, because I think we've got some good players for the future coming out of our academy now. We've signed that Dorrington kid, who I reckon's a really good centre half. He's 20 years old, so you know he could probably have some game time this year. Centre halves tend to mature a little later than outfield players, but he's definitely one to look for. And Fabrizio Romano is saying that in the next couple of days we should be signing on Mikey Moore, who I think is a very, very exciting prospect, a kid 15. So we've got a couple coming through, but yeah, I'd rather, instead of what we did last season, buy loads of players, just be really targeted. It didn't look like we had any strategy at all last year, and I wonder if that's part of, Paratici, the slightly bent football director that we hired, that we could have known that he was a bit bent, but we didn't really do any due diligence. And even when FIFA or UEFA, whoever, bunch of stuffed shirts in leather couches, they said they were going to make a decision on whether they were going to increase the worldwide ban, make the worldwide ban on football, because the FA charged him with shenanigans. And they said they were going to do it in March. They'd have their decision by March. But Tottenham, I don't know. Maybe they just don't look at Twitter or something, or didn't get the memo about that one. And we all went through that hilarity of him doing the video in the bog of a little chef somewhere on the M1. I don't know where he was. And then the next day we had to let him go pretty much. So I'd rather quality, just targeted. Like I say, I'd be happy with even 2 as a start. If we're starting this rebuilding process, I'm not after anything flash. We've got 4 years to get this right with Ange. Whatever Ange wants, give it to him. Just give it to him. Richie B, Nuno has gone on to win a title. Well, hey, look, a title's a title, isn't it? I mean, it's Saudi Arabia, but you've still got to beat who's in front of you, and I suppose he's done that. I saw rumours that there were rumours that Hugo Lloris, our long-serving captain, who, did any of you lot wince? Did any of you lot wince during that game against Newcastle where we got done and we were 5-0 down at half time? Did anyone wince when Hugo pulled up and we thought, I don't know if he'll be able to come on for the second half. He looks crocked. He looks injured. And then it was no surprise when Foster came out in the second half. Do you remember that? I bloody don't. He just walked off the pitch and then didn't come back on, did he? Bloody Hugo Lloris. But there was rumours that he was going to go to Saudi Arabia. And now there's rumours that, his family, and I don't bloody know. So I don't know where he'll go. Maybe to France. If I was in one of these old players, I'd bugger off to America like Messi did. I think that's a nice, smart move. What a nice way to wrap up your career. I suppose you could wrap up your career nicely in Saudi Arabia because you'd have a spare $500 million in your pocket, which ain't bad. But yeah, a title is still a title, Richie. Richie's saying, I take it this is about Raya. Levy wants to pay 25 million. Well, let's see how we go. Let's see how we go. If we get, I suppose you judge it whether the deal happens, doesn't it? Whether the deal happens, and I prefer it to happen sooner rather than later. I think the goalkeeper, it's easier for them to learn a new system than outfield players. So I want defenders in for, like, if I had to get a signing in now, it would be a centre back. It would be a centre back. We desperately need to get that centre of defence sorted out before pre-season starts. A goalkeeper, I want to be a bit more lenient on it, but I don't want to be starting the season with Fraser Foster. No way. Not that he's not done well. I think he's done really well. He shows a lot of composure on the ball. He's just not quite the shot stopper that we need. Danielle Azito, I really want us to announce him coming this week. It's taking bloody ages. It's starting to be like the Porro. Oh, the Porro deal was nasty though, wasn't it? And the annoying thing about the Porro deal for me was, if we had got him near the beginning of the window, that would have been an extra few games for him to find his feet. We might have had maybe 2 or 3 extra points by the end of the season. Let's see where that would have got us, because it was fine margins. EPL table. Where would 3 points have got us? Well, that would have got us into the Europa League. There you are. We weren't far off. Looking at this, we were 11 points off 4th place. So, that's Eric Dyer's fuck ups that did that, really, wasn't it? How can you score 70 goals and have a goal difference of only 7? So was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We scored the 5th many goals, and we let in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. So we were 6th from bottom on goals let in, and 4th from top on scoring goals. So it shouldn't be that hard a job to fix up, should it? Shouldn't be that hard a job. I think Conte left us in far worse. Even when, that thing he said the other day, totally shirking responsibility. When I left the team, they were in 4th, as if to say, if he was still there at the end, we would have been 4th and 8th. I don't know if that's true, man. I think I don't know. Same players, isn't it? Same players. And we were sliding down. When he says 4th, that was kind of it was a full force, wasn't it? A false 4th, because there was games in hand and shit like that. And every time we had a chance to do it in our own right, we failed. And we failed under his watch doing that. We could have gone up to 2nd at one point. We could have gone up to 3rd. We could have held on to 4th. And that was all Conte. Then Stellini just carried that on, and we just couldn't do it. So for him to sit there in his Tuscan villa or wherever he is, and basically say him leaving is responsible for us not finishing 4th, I think it's horseshit, absolute horseshit. Not impressed with Conte. And I feel really disappointed because I was really behind that guy. All right, Richie B says, Levy buzzing right now. He just saved 5 million on Kulu. Well, there you go. It's always 5 million, isn't it? It's always bloody 5 million with this character. I don't know why that's the magic number. It's always 5 million, man. I have 30 million. See, we're all hearing different things. We're all being fed bullshit by the Fleet Street meatheads. People like the Daily Mail, looking forward to seeing what their their new young journalists is going to write. I believe they signed a promising new talent. I believe Boris Johnson is his name. Be interesting to see what he has to write. Anyway, I don't want to get political. This is a football channel. Not going to get political. He was my MP in Uxbridge. Good old Uxbridge Boris Johnson, we used to call him. He was always around Uxbridge when we were kids. He loves Uxbridge. I mean, if you haven't been to Uxbridge or that area of West London, fuck me. There ain't too many Borises living there, I'll tell you. Moondog, have we been linked to any defenders? Because if we don't get anyone, it'll be disaster. Now, nice segue. I've only seen it once that we were linked with Hiroki E2 from Stuttgart, who I'm excited about. But we're also being linked to Aymeric Laporte, who wants to leave Man City this summer. He signed, what was it? He signed for 57 from Athletic Bilbao, so it's going to be cheaper than that, I would have thought. He's not getting a look in games anymore. I think he looks like, he looks like a tasty player. So there's him and there's Hiroki. And I mean, that's positive. Is that all right for you, Moondog? Or are you after something a bit more tasty than that? I think, look, we've got to just improve on Eric Dyer, haven't we? Eric Dyer, Sanchez, Tanganga, Romero. People seem to be divided a bit on Romero at the moment. I'm not fully understanding that really. I think Romero is great, and I think he's had a very frustrating year because he's the only one that's tackling. Eric Dyer, and I watched every game last year except when I fell asleep a little bit during maybe the last 20 minutes of games. But I saw Eric Dyer do one sliding tackle. As I said before, it was the most inelegant thing I've ever seen. It wasn't like a power 2 foot, nick the ball, play the ball on. He just came sliding in like a dog wiping its ass after it's had a shit. When dogs do that, they slide around on the grass. That's the way he came in. I think he actually got the ball, in fairness to him, but then he just sat there for a bit. It was like that clip of Lineker in the 1990 World Cup when he had an unfortunate accident because he had a bit of an upset stomach. Who were they playing? Was it Republic of Ireland or was it Italy? Can't remember. But yeah, that was out. But Gary Lineker wasn't putting a tackle in. Eric Dyer just came in and slid around. I think if that's the case, if Eric Dyer only does a tackle when he's had a bit of a bad kebab, I think it's a pretty poor choice for Tottenham to go with an all-white kit this year. Surely we want something a bit more forgiving, just in case Eric Dyer has a bit of trouble. Because I think he is nervous during games anyway, because he seems to have stage fright. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's got IBS or something, and that stops him from freely moving around. So giving him white shirts, come on, at least give Eric Dyer, let Eric Dyer wear some brown shorts or some navy blue shorts, just to give him a bit more dignity on the pitch. I don't know if Depend make a product that can survive the rigors of 90 minutes or at least 45 minutes of football. All right, Chris is saying here in Spain, Perez here in Spain. Who's Perez? Anyway, Perez here in Spain has said that. Is there a way I can make this bloody thing a bit bigger so I can read the fucking thing? No, I'm stuck with a small screen, so I'm having to squint up. Perez here in Spain has said that Madrid will not sign any more players. Is that Real Madrid? If true, the Kane door is shut. Now I saw something else here. It's all speculation and bollocks, isn't it? Let me have a look. I saw, and this is a tweet from Last Word on Spurs, and it's saying Mario Contegna or Contiana is saying Real Madrid expecting a starting price of well over 100 million euros. Euros? We don't deal in euros. Haven't they heard that about Brexit, where, you know, everyone's got a blue passport again? Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. Well over. Well, when they say well over 100 million, well, why don't they say like what it is then? What's well over 110, 150, half a billion for Tottenham Hotspur striker Harry Kane? And then they say the Spanish club does not want to invest so much in a player of that age with only 1 year left. I don't understand what last word of Spurs is saying here, or this other guy. They're saying, are they saying that they're expecting a price well over that, so they're not interested? I don't get it. What's your thoughts on Kane? I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go. I don't care. He's our best player. He got 30 goals last year, even though we were stinking the place out like a dump I did in the Eagles Nest restaurant toilet on top of Mount Kosciuszko. They had to put a red tape around the toilet after I left in it. I don't know, it must have been altitude or atmospheric conditions. But what are your thoughts on Kane? Here's my thoughts. I don't want to sell him because I think there's a good chance that Ange is going to do good things this year. And I think Ange will get him to sign another contract. I think it would be so positive that we'll be going in the right direction so much that Harry Kane will just want to stay at Spurs. The risk is, of course, that doesn't happen and he goes on a free at the end of the season. I don't care. I don't care about all this money. Money's irrelevant. I just want to see good football. And for me as a Tottenham fan, I want to see good players. And Harry Kane's one of the best players in the world. And if we get rid of him as well, then not only have we got to sort out our defence this window, we've got to sort out who's going to be popping it in at the other end. And who are you going to get for 100 million? What are you going to buy to replace Harry Kane? Have we got someone that can do a good job as him at the moment? No, we bloody haven't. So I'd be much more inclined to keep him. And yeah, we do face the risk of him going on a free, but we've also got the chance of him becoming a one-club player, which would be fantastic. He's already got the mural. I mean, the mural's nice, but it's a bit premature. I think you do that when a player's gone, really. But, you know, what the hell? If it keeps him staying at Spurs, maybe that's the job of the mural. Maybe that's job done. We'll see how we go, you know. I mean, next year the cards are all going to be in Harry's favour. He's going to be able to do what he wants. Oh, no, there's loads of comments. Bloody hell. What are we doing? Let's scroll down. Here we go. So, yeah, I'm Kane all the way. Keep him. Worth 30 goals. So those 30 goals might be enough to get us into a European competition. So it's not even a net, you know, income thing of 100 million. We'll get like almost that much from Champions Leagues. I don't know what Europa League is, 30, 40, something like that. It's just not bloody worth selling him. Richie B. So many links. Oh, you're talking to each other. Press is talking shite though. Yeah, they always are. They always are, aren't they? It's pathetic. You know, I remember back in the day when the news, especially on TV, was just some, you know, boring old middle class white guy in a suit, just reading off an order queue, not much information, not much emotion, just reading it all out. And it was like half an hour, you're in and out. There was no opinion, there was no analysis, and what I particularly hate about, you know, parts of the news which they do in Australia, because you've got the news and then you've got this like current affair news magazine show, and they'll show, you know, oh, let's have a look at Twitter. Oh, some twat from Twatsville says this. Who the fuck are they? I don't want to hear what they say. That's why I don't watch news. It's all about winding you up. I don't, you know, what am I going to do if there's a, I don't know, a cow rustling incident in Oklahoma? You know, 100 cows have been rustled in Oklahoma. I give a fuck, don't I? Richie B, Kane not leaving. His missus is carrying a baby right now. She's pregnant again. Bloody hell, he's so virile, isn't he? He's so virile. He keeps shooting them in the pits and shooting them elsewhere. You can't stop the guy. He's going to have like 50 kids. 50 kids. Brilliant. He seems to have a really settled family life. You know, that's the other thing about Kane. He's football head. He's just drama free, isn't he? There's no, oh, Harry Kane was photoed coming out of a casino with his pants down and his knob out, and not knowing where he's going, and then having to do the apologise, sit there behind the table, reading from a script. I understand my actions have been unacceptable. I've let my team down, I've let my family down, and I've let myself down. They always say that, don't they? I've let myself down. No, you haven't. You're doing what you wanted to do. You were having fun, and you just got caught. Oh, this is whoa. I mean, I've been banging on about the powers of Ange Postecoglou for a while, but I think Richie B, I don't know if you're taking it too far for me, man. You might be. I think Ange will get Cesc playing his best. Well, I'll tell you what, that's probably true, but I think Cesc at his best probably isn't good enough still. I don't think it's good enough. I mean, he was just so off it, wasn't he, last season? He just, but that, maybe, I mean, when I was watching him play, he just looked so scared. He looked so scared, out of confidence completely, didn't really know what to do. Can he do better than that? He probably can, but do you think Richie? Do you think you'll get enough out of Cesc that solves our left back problem? I mean, if you do, oh man, you're a bigger follower of Ange than I am. I mean, Ange is great, but bugger me. Spain won on penalties. Yep. Perisic banged in a penalty. Oh well, I'm still disappointed by the guy. Still disappointed by the guy. He's got a year left. If we can get something for him, I think get something for him. Might as well. Daniela. Madison Paul, he's been rumoured with a move with us. Yeah, I'm seeing. Let's see what else we got on the rumour mill here. Laporte. Oh, speaking of Harry Kane, The Athletic is saying Chelsea have also inquired about reuniting Harry Kane with can't read that name, Michael Pochettino or something. Don't know who the Chelsea manager is. Given their strong relationship at Tottenham, but Spurs Chairman Daniel Levy dealing with Chelsea is seen as impossible. You see, misty-eyed over Pochettino. When they come to Chelsea, let's all sing his magic, and give him a reception. No, I want to make it hostile for him, especially if he's got feelers out trying to nick our players. Sod off, Maurizio. Sod off. Go away. You've got your own fish to fry there. Don't start nicking our players. You imagine that. He's still going to give him a good reception if Chelsea walk out with Harry Kane in their blue, kissing the badge. No bloody way. Hands off, man. God. You know what? It looks like maybe Pochettino is just a bit bitter about the whole thing, and maybe I get that, because apparently he was just there looking at his phone for 2 months. He just sat there like that, making sure if I got a signal. I've only got 2 bars, maybe go and stand by the window, just holding it up, pointing it to a satellite or pointing it to a tower. Maybe he moved next to a mobile phone tower just to make sure he doesn't miss the phone call. And maybe all those rays that have come off the 5G tower, they've just buggered his brain up a little bit, or maybe he's caught COVID off it or something. Catching COVID on 5G, fuck me, the world's crazy. Chelsea. I hope that's not true. Well, we're not going to sell to Chelsea, are we? There's no bloody way. But Madison, yeah, he has been rumoured. Those rumours are around a while, and they don't seem to be gathering any traction. It's there's no progression on the rumour. It's all interested, or I don't even think we're having serious conversations yet. They just try and string this shit out. They try and string, just like I'm doing. I'm no better. Here's me bagging the Fleet Street meatheads. I'm just dragging it all out too. I've really nothing to talk about. Kingdom, Japanese newspaper reports Spurs. Yes, now I did see this one. I saw this one. So yes, we're looking at the Celtic players Hatate. We're looking at. Oh, okay. So you've got Hatate and Ito. I also saw Kyogo thrown in there as well, who's an exciting player. But Ito is one that I think is very, very interesting, because I think he's going to be a bit cheap. And I reckon if Ange has got his eye on him, because he would have seen him play in the J League, I think that'll be. I think if Ange fancies him, I fancy him too, definitely. And Hatate has been, a complete engine for Celtic. You got McGregor behind him, giving it to Hatate, and he just does the rest. He does the rest. So he could be a good player. In some ways, maybe, if it was given a choice between Hatate and Maddison, I don't know, man. I'd almost be going Hatate if we were on a limited budget. I think Hatate's attitude is just better. It's just better. Otherwise, Ange wouldn't have brought him to Celtic in the first place. Now, I did see rumours and speculation. I don't know how true this is, that part of the condition of Ange leaving Celtic was that he can't bring any staff or players for a year. But I don't know if that's true. And you can always work your way around that. Meeting the happy eater at Newport Pagnell Services. Under the table. Little bag of goodies. Little bag of Rishi Sunak free money. He doesn't need to know about this. The Inland Revenue don't need to know about this. Anything can be done. We can achieve anything in football. Tot Spurs. All right, so here we go. This is your wish list, eh? Buy ready-made goalkeeper. Agree totally. We need a ready-made one. 2 centre backs, yes. 2 mids, and then 1 for somewhere free and 2 loans. 8 players in. 8 players in. Wow, that's a lot, man. You're going for the big hit. The big hit. There's something to be. Look, it depends how many players we can get rid of, isn't it? I think. Because, like you say, deadwood out. I think there's a lot of deadwood in at Tottenham at the moment that they're bad for morale. They're bad for morale in the team, because they don't put a shift in, and a lot of them are bloody useless, aren't they? So it does depend how many players you get. See, I like the progression of your wish list there, because I'm with you for a bit. And then maybe we go our separate ways, but I'm definitely with you. A goalkeeper, 2 centre backs. Then you're on to luxury land for me. 2 mids, and then 1 for somewhere free and 2 loans. I'm not. I'm not. The whole loan thing. I'm not as keen on that. It doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but when you're getting players in on a loan. For me, if you want to be a big club or behave like a big club, I think they don't do loans, incoming loans so much, do they? They know what they want and they go and get them. Oh, look at this. It's Sean Butler. Hello, Sean. Hey, how you going, man? Shawnee Show. How you going? I'm looking forward to seeing your happy, smiling face on watch-alongs this year, because I know it's been a tough old trot for you, Sean. But I'm looking forward to seeing some happiness out of you this season. You deserve it. You've done a lot of hard work, and you help me keep sane, actually, because like the more you smash up places, furniture where you live, the more of my own furniture survives. And you know what? I'm gonna have to take a little break here because I've got to go and drop Eric Dyer off at the pool. So what I'll do is, I haven't really got a video to play. I'll just have to play a count. No, I'll leave the screen go blank. No, I'll play a video because the microphone might pick up what I'm doing. So I'll tell you what, we'll shouldn't take me long. We'll stick this one on. No, I won't stick that one on because it'll get DMCA'd. Hang on. Back. There you go. That's quick. It was only a number one, Eric Dyer. So you know, he's off swimming with his friends now. Okay. Oh, it's gone scrolling past all the comments. Where am I? Don't even know where I am now. Hang on. Bloody hell, there's loads of comments. Shit, man. Oh, here we go. Audio Artisan. What do you think happens first? We get naming rights still for the stadium, or we win a trophy? You know what? I'm not. I know naming rights for the stadium. What are we getting for about that? 100, 150? But I quite enjoy it not having a name. I don't want it to become the X-Lax Stadium, or I don't know, the Dixon Stadium. I don't know what the Aldi Stadium. I don't know. It creates a problem. And I've seen the problem happen here in Sydney, where the naming stadiums will change their name every bloody year, and sometimes sponsors will swap over. So people I actually had this when I was doing Ubering. I was dropping people off, and I dropped them at completely wrong stadium, and then we had to go and find the right stadium. Whereas if you just call it Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or as I prefer to call it, White Hart Lane, it's not, maybe if we, there's enough Spurs fans, club up and make a company called White Hart Lane, and then get them to sponsor it. But will we get the naming rights for a stadium, or will we win a trophy? Well, I hope we win a trophy before we give the name the stadium some abomination corporate name, the Westfield Stadium. Oh, can you imagine that? Where are you going? I'm going to the Westfield Stadium. Everything's got sponsorship. Football here is so sponsored. Like, even when they bring up the league table, it's not just the league table. It'd be the Cadbury's league table, sticking a name on everything. I mean, when I don't know. I go on about sponsorship for ages. I don't know. Eltel Coquerel. Jose, buenos dias, compañero. Good evening, soldier. Soldier. I'm a lover, not a fighter, man. It's not Hotspur mercenary, it's Hotspur hippie, isn't it? All right, Daniela, isn't Porro on loan? I think we bought him, didn't we? I think we bought him. Is Porro on loan? Don't ask me. I thought we bought him. I thought that's why part of all the drag out was. Why on earth have we not announced him as a permanent sign? Is that right? He's only on loan. Oh, I can't be bothered looking it up. I'll just have the mystery. I'll let you lot sort it out. I thought we bought him permanently. I know Kulu was on loan, and we've bought him. Where are we going? Where are we going? Top Spurs. Also, Sean did a stream earlier. All right, when I was in the land of dreams. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check out Sean's show. I like Sean's dog walks or walks where he walks around, and many of the time he walks clearly past a sign saying dogs must be kept on leashes. He's a rebellious Sean. He's a lawbreaker. He likes to squirt around the rules. He's a bit woo. He's a bit wee. Oh, come on. What can I click on that? Oh, there we go. Oh, we're talking about LTL Cockerell. Jose is going to be starting up a new channel. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Richie B has got his fingers crossed about Laporte. Yeah, Laporte. Why not, eh? Laporte and Ito. I'd be over the moon with those two if we got them in. Oh, now you reckon Tanganga might do all right under Ange? Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility that the problem I have with Tanganga is that he just keeps on running over people. He's like a juggernaut. He just like our outfield players, like Skip and Son's done a lot this year, and Richarlison does, and Mora did all year. They can't multitask in football land. They just run straight with the ball until they run into trouble. And Tanganga's a bit like that, but he doesn't have the ball. He just runs straight, and he just runs straight over people. But whether there's a bit more skill in there or not, I mean, in some ways, I prefer him as a defender to the likes of Eric Dyer, because at least he does something. Could Ange get a tune out of Tanganga? That's an interesting question. I don't know. Yeah, I hate Sessegnon. Yeah, I hope Sessegnon's gone as well. We're here. Some people are saying he might get a tune out of him. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know if I want to see him play anymore because he was so bad. He really was that bad. Johnny Bethnal Green, Kent. Anybody seen the UK media today? Ange wants Maguire and get him at all cost. My God, is the Greek Oz bloke on some serious LSD? I think that's probably bullshit, man. There's a lot of rumours about this Maguire move. I don't know. I mean, Ange does like to give players another chance. Maybe they're just sort of feeding off that vibe, but I don't see how Maguire. He's too slow. We need fast centre backs when we're working under Ange because a lot of the time they're going to be dicking around up the other end of the pitch. And when we lose the ball, they're going to have to tear arse it back. And that's something that Eric Dyer never bloody do. He'd go off for a sauna, think he's all fucking Maradona up the pitch, and then he gets caught out. And there's a big, not that it really helps him being back anyway, but the players just run and score. And where's Dyer? Oh, he's up because he's got a sore finger, or he's just jogging back aimlessly. Oh, Perez is Real Madrid's president. Okie dokie, gotcha. Yeah, that report I saw it's like 100 million, but they don't want to spend much on him. So I don't understand what the story is. Yes, I did wash my hands. Of course, I washed my hands. Bloody hell! Kind of people are out there that don't wash their hands after they've been, taking Eric Dyer out of the pool. Chris says Madrid have stated that they will not sign Kane as they've already invested heavily in Bellingham. Yeah, I think that's right. They're not the limitless pool of money they used to be. Johnny Bethnal Green would be an idiot who sells Kane. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say someone's an idiot, but I get what you mean. Yeah, I just don't get why you would sign your best player. Why would you sign someone that's given you 30 goals? He scored in more games than Haaland last year. He scored more winning goals, more importantly. I mean, how many times has Harry Kane dug us out of the shit with a goal of his. I remember he did it in an FA Cup game where we were playing. Can't remember who we were playing, but the game was in a real stalemate until Harry Kane just thought, "Fuck this! I'm scoring a goal," and he did. And you take Harry Kane out of the team, and I think we'd be a lot worse off. We'd be a lot further down the league, and we've got to replace him at some point. How do you replace Harry Kane? My ideal would be Ange talks him round and we get another contract out of him, and he stays with us. For another few years. That'd be great, and hopefully win something with us. I think if we win it, if we were to do something like win an FA Cup this year, I think he'd stay. He'd stay, because if you talk about, well, maybe his ambition would be to win the Premier League. Well, who's he going to do that with? I mean, there's only Man City he could sign with, and they've got Haaland, so they ain't buying him. So moving to another team just to win a Premier League, I think is a no-go. But to move to another team who've got a chance of a trophy, that might be a carrot in his face. But who's guaranteed to win a trophy? You know, where would you have to go? Man United won a cup this year, but like moving to the likes of Newcastle, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantees in football, and I reckon that Harry Kane, or one cup with Tottenham, would be worth 10 with another team. Would be worth 10. But he could go off to Real Madrid, win a few things over there, and maybe come back to Spurs. That'd be all right. But I want him here now. 30 goals is too much to forego. Obviously, other players would score some of those goals, but I don't think we'd get the full 30. No way. This is all subject to Ange, though. If Ange says, no, I could do it with Kyogo, he could do it with Kyogo. Blissy, I need to listen to Hotspur Hippie on a podcast. Yeah, it's a thought, but I don't know. I know how to do it because I used to do stuff before. I don't know. I'll think about that, but I might. See, I mean, the podcast would probably be more appropriate when I'm off doing a little video, but they just tend to be about 10 minutes. So I don't know. I quite like doing it this way. But anything's possible in the future, you know. Richie Kane is the ultimate professional. We're lucky to have him. Bloody hell, we are, man. Yeah, he is the ultimate professional. I mean, he's just a football brain, you know. He is just a foot. That is a. There you go. He's a classic Bill Nicholson football brain guy. No academic, you know. You shove calculus in front of him, he won't know what you're talking about. But positioning where to score a goal in injury time, that's Harry Kane. Every time. He's fantastic. Oh, I can turn the heater off a little bit here. There we go. It's all nice and warmed up now. Sun shining. I'll just have a little sneaky peek, see if there's any kangaroos out the back. Let's just have a quick look here, because sometimes they're out there. Nope, no kangaroos. And I'm not joking, where I am at the moment, mate, you do get kangaroos in my mate's back garden, and it's brilliant. But remember, don't fuck with a kangaroo. They're not all cute. Audio Artisan says, I remember when Ledley got pissed and arrested. The state of him was hilarious. Oh, I can't even remember that, but who cares? You know, who cares? You see it in I do feel for people that are in the spotlight a bit or well known, because you know George Orwell's 1984, where you know the government's watching every move you do and all that. We're kind of in these days now, and I'm not really talking about CCTVs, but it's not the government. It's every tosser with one of these, isn't it? It's like, oh, there's a famous person having a bit of a bad moment. Might as well video it and see how might get a couple of grand off the Daily Mail or Channel 9 or something like that. Yeah, get a bit of money. Here, I'll tell you what, he's a bit pissed. Go and set him up. See if you can get him to do something appropriate. Yeah, this video. No privacy. I do feel sorry for them. They always have to be on their best behaviour. It's like a society-wide panopticon, you know. Panopticon was a thing in the middle of a prison, and the prison used to be around this central tower, and so every prison cell was visible from the middle. Now, obviously, a guard couldn't be, didn't have 360 eyes in their head, but the theory is the prisoners didn't know when they were being looked at and when they weren't. Now everybody's being watched by one of these. It's horrible. So poor old Ledley. We love Ledley even more. Why not? Richie B agreed. There's no way we're doing any business with Chelsea. No, I can't see it. I can't see it. Levy seems to have a bit of a hard on for Chelsea, and I'm wondering where that started or where that came from. I would like to think that it's because a lot of the Chelsea fans are the biggest anti-Semites on the planet, and the songs they sing to Tottenham fans are disgusting. I'm sure they still do it. I saw it was only last year I heard from people that they're still doing it. So I don't know. I'd like to think of something like that, but I don't know. Probably not, is it? King Dom, Hatate gets compared to Iniesta. Ooh. Iniesta's played in the J League. That's right. Yeah, since 2018. When asked who the best player, he named Rio Hatate. Did he really? I'll take that as fact. It sounds plausible. Sounds plausible. Hatate, yeah. If you go and you'll probably be able to find a Hatate sizzle reel somewhere on YouTube. But yeah, great player, great player. And Ange just, that's one of those players. That's what Ange could do at Celtic. He could buy in these players that no one had ever heard of because no one watches the J League, and they're actually more than ready enough to play in the Scottish Premier League, and they're probably more than ready to play in the English Premier League. There's players out there that's very hard to judge because they're only playing who they're playing against, aren't they? It might be time for us to get some of them in at Tottenham. I mean, Heung-min Son, although he was already playing for Bayer Leverkusen, so we could judge him that. But I reckon just take the plunge with some of these players. Be brilliant. Richie B says, realistically, I think we'll get 3 players, maybe 4 if we're lucky. Yeah, I'll settle for 3, so long as they're good ones. Not I don't want to hear what we had last season where the whole Jed Spence, where all the reports were, Levy's personally involved in it, and something like Jed Spence's agent is Daniel Levy's brother-in-law, or there was some weird old relationship there. I don't know. Is Jed Spence going to come back and play? Mate, if we get the player I saw playing for Nottingham Forest in Middlesbrough, it might not be a bad thing, but I don't know. King Dom, Celtic have players who can cover Hatate, so him leaving not upsetting the fan base so much. Taking Kyogo would piss off the fans. Well, that's football, isn't it? And I do have a soft spot for Celtic, but if they've got a good player that I think would be really good for Tottenham, then that's unfortunate. The CEO of Celtic doesn't want his home firebombed again. Yeah, well, that's true. I see. It looks like Brendan Rodgers is. From what I've seen, it's likely that he's going to go back to Celtic. That's going to be interesting because he didn't play as good as football as Ange. He was very successful there, but he was. I think a lot of his time was when Rangers were, still nowhere after cooking the books or spending too much money or whatever they did years ago, and they got relegated right down the bottom and worked their way back up again. Richard B, welcome back, Paul. Yeah, it's only a quick one, Google Arena, fucking hell, man. What's the? I just don't like it. And I still call football grounds by their old names, like You know, Man City. I know it's not even in the same spot, but it's Main Road, isn't it? That's what it is. Arsenal, I still call Highbury. West Ham, well, you can't really call it Upton Park. It's like the Westfield Stadium or something. It. How much of our soul, how much of the football soul can be flogged off? How much more can you squeeze out of it? I wonder. Because do you have it? I can't recall if I've seen it in Premier League football yet. I don't think I have. But here in Australia, when you're watching a rugby league game, they'll have adverts painted on the pitch, and they'll do it like in that perspective way, so that from the camera angle, it looks like a rectangle with the advert on it. If you look down on it, it'd be like a big trapezoid thing, but the perspective makes it look like a rectangle. That pisses me off. It took me so long to get used to um, those kind of LCD screens around the pitch, where the adverts are just always changing, and you get like a greyhound running from one end to the other to flog some online gambling. I find that so distracting. I'm used to a few wonky old ads just tacked up saying call the Spurs line, that line you could call for £5 a minute, and it would tell you that the line up, and it would always be wrong anyway. But that was pre-internet days, where we needed, if you were hungry for Spurs information, you'd call the Spurs line. All right, Spurs. Tottenham complete Pedro Porro signing from Sporting, €45 million deal. Is that how we did it in the first place, or is that what we're doing now? Kingdom, bullshit that Ange wants Maguire. Yeah, I've been inclined to think that. You know what? I mean, you remember we got all these agents and snouts in the trough at these times of year. You see all these stories of players being linked with players, and it's just trying to drum up attention for the player, so that trying to up Maguire's value, so that the agent can get his cut. I just can't stand agents in football. Top Spurs. How many players do you think in the England camp are trying to tap up other players at the moment for their clubs? Sure as hell. Yeah, they'd be. I mean, I'm sure they'd all be talking, wouldn't they? They'd all be talking. Find out, can you put a word in for me? Sure, there's a couple of mates, but if you're playing for England, you've got to be of a certain quality, I guess, and maybe it's not an altogether bad thing. Now, it was. I didn't check actually. What was the lineup for England Malta? Gareth Safetygate. Don't start putting extra words into what I'm typing, Google. Who was the lineup for England? Because I didn't watch this game. Pickford. Maguire started. So he's still playing for England. Did he have a good game? Was he subbed? Doesn't look like he was even subbed. Wow. Did anyone see that game? Did Maguire do all right for England? Playing in a back four according to Google's layout, but they've been known to be a little bit wrong. And Harry Kane got his 50th goal for England. Harry Kane, eh? God, he just flew under the radar so much this year. Everyone was all Haaland, which I guess is fair enough. But I can't remember really a year where, maybe it's part of the anti-Spurs conspiracy out there. All the talk sport knobheads like Simon Jordan, all trying to put Spurs down. If it was Saka as number 2 scorer, I bet we'd be hearing more about him, wouldn't we? Or if it was Salah, we'd be hearing more about him. But because it's our own Harry Kane, it's like, oh well, no other footballers exist apart from Haaland. Bloody Fleet Street. Prior deal had been done. Okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. I can't be bothered researching it. I can't be bothered typing a search into Twitter. Oh, there's two places called Tottenham in Australia. I didn't know that. I just googled to see if there's one in New South Wales, and it is actually allegedly in the geographical centre of New South Wales, which means it's in the middle of bloody nowhere. There's going to be nothing there, which is kind of the place I like to go to when I'm having a bit of a road trip on places. I like to you know, go to silly little places. Concrete Arrows in America. Have a look at that one. Concrete Arrows. Got to go across deserts and things to find those bloody things. But yeah, hang on. Well, let me. I'm curious where the other Tottenham is now. You give me another potential place to seek out. Let's have a look. Tottenham, Australia. Oh, Anders Hardy Billis. Yeah, I want a list. Oh, there's a Tottenham in Victoria. Okay, where's that? Oh, it's near Melbourne. There's a Tottenham right in Melbourne. Oh, that's not as exciting though, is it? That's not as exciting. That's just a city suburb. Not that it isn't a city suburb in London, but that's a bit too. That's too easy. What's in Tottenham there? No, the Tottenham, New South Wales is much more exciting because it's the end of the road basically. Tottenham, New South Wales. Here we go. I'll show you. Why not? I've got the technology to do this. Let's do this. Present. Is that doing it? All right. Yeah, there we go. So here we go. Tottenham, Tottenham. And we zoom in a bit. You can kind of see there's bugger all there. In fact, there you go. That's Tottenham, New South Wales. And just to show you where it is in relation to the rest of the world. Okay, so that's where I live, Sydney. I'm currently around about here somewhere. So another few hours drive, and you get to that area, middle of nowhere. Can I do that? Yeah, there we go. So there we go. That's. I mean, it's an idea. I don't know if I can't quite do it because I'm relying on I'm staying with a mate, and it's whether he's up for it because there's an issue with my driving license at the moment because I went 5k over in a school zone. Bastards. Didn't hit anyone. No one died, but I can't work for 3 months. Eltel Cockerell, Jose, how's the walk in the wilderness going? Sorry, I missed the start of the show. You don't have to apologise. Yeah, everyone's free to drift in and out. Do what you want to do, man. There's only so much bullshit you can take, isn't there? Yeah, I had a good little walk round yesterday. I'll probably do a little bit more today if there's any interesting site. I'm not going to really just video if there's an interesting site. I'm not going to make this a travel log, but I just, it's if Tottenham things cross my head, which they tend to do when I'm just sitting there, enjoying the scenery, sitting there, and I think, oh, is there anything crossing my mind? And then something might. So if that happens, you'll see a bit more of what's around here, but it is beautiful. Eltel Cockerell, they're all talking, but no one is sitting next to Harry Maguire. Is that right? Maybe he's had a bad curry. So England did play a back four, but Malta never threatened. Well, I suppose there you go. There you go. You could have probably. I could have turned the heating down. Oh, bloody hell. It's really warming up in here. I've got 3 layers on, so maybe that's not helping. And I didn't bring my caftans with me. I thought I packed one, but I didn't. So they played a back four, but Malta never threatened. Well, maybe would have been a good time for Eric Dyer to play. Am I in Campbelltown? No, miles away from Campbelltown, mate. Miles away from Campbelltown. Was that Newcastle just above Sydney? Yeah. It was. There's lots of English place names around. So Newcastle there, and in Tottenham you've got places like Croydon. There's a suburb called Liverpool. You see, the main streets in Sydney are called like Sussex, Essex. There's a Liverpool street. There's an Oxford street. It's like they completely ran out of every kind of bloody imagination. The only imagination, I guess, where they used the old Aboriginal names for places like Woolloomooloo and Murwillumbah and Moruya and places like that. But other than that, it's just they just nicked English places. Blissy says, "Don't tell Levy the land's cheap in Tottenham, New South Wales." I reckon if you want to build a 22-story leisure complex, I reckon Tottenham, New South Wales would be the place to do it. All I know is that there is a swimming pool, there's a pub, and there's an oval, and there's probably a museum. A lot of little towns around the place. I'm in a place called Mount Victoria at the moment, which is really, really nice. There's even a little museum here. Blissy, do you know much about how Ange brings young players into the first team? Well, he's very keen on it. He probably didn't have as much of a chance to do it at Celtic because he was flat out going to win the league. He was starting to though, and one of the things he does is he plays, the reserve or the academy teams in training. They're all very close to each other, so his idea is when they move over to the first team, it's not all like weird and does their head in. But he's definitely up for it. He had to do it a lot in Australia because they act under a salary cap here. So you've got to be very, very astute with your recruitment in the A-League. He did it in Japan as well. And I heard Steve Perryman talk about this, about his time in Japan, where, there was a little bit of hierarchy, like seniority. It's almost a lot of teams would just play their older, more experienced players in Japan, whereas Steve Perryman and Ozzy Ardiles went against the grain by having a wild and crazy idea of just picking the best team. So Ange would have done that as well. He's talked about it a lot, and I reckon if he's here for 4 years, I'm sure it's going to be part of his plan. It's going to be part of his plan. And we have signed contracts with quite a few academy players, and we've also let a few go. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ange has been, having some involvement with that. Now, I've got to turn the heat back on. It's a little bit cool. There we go. It's quite fun pulling this lever on this seat. Just I don't know, stupid things tickle me sometimes. So yeah, he's keen on it. He sees it as part of the whole solution. So, he understands football, and Ange understands that, local young players going through the ranks, if they can make it, if they're good enough to make it in a team, you do get a little bit extra out of them than someone you've just bought in. Hotspurs. Which academy player do you think you might try out first in the first team as a sub or a starter, Paul? I'd like to see Dorrington. I don't know what Ange is going to do. Let me go up a bit. So yeah, there we go. I don't know what Ange is going to do because, like, some of the players that have been on the bench, would you still say they're academy players like Alfie Devine? I don't know, man. But he's got a few. Well, Mundell's gone, so he ain't going to be on the bench. But I'm really hoping Dorrington. Especially even if we get two centre backs, we're still going to need someone else to cover, aren't we? just in case of injuries or players get knackered. Because remember, during a match, we never stop. We stop at half time, and we stop at the final whistle when we celebrate. But during the game, we never stop. If the other team want to stop, that's good for us. So, if at certain games we might need fresh legs there. Dorrington is the one for me. 20 years old, bugger it. If he's good enough, he's old enough. King Dom says, Celtic games gets young players playing the same style as the first team. Okay, yeah. So if you're called up, you know their roles. Training with the first team includes ball boys to ensure. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, you're right there. He actually got the ball boys trained so that as soon as the ball's out, it's back in again. Because you can catch players going to sleep when there's a dead ball. I remember last season. I know we conceded when we fell asleep, and I think we scored when people have fallen asleep against the corner. And Steve Perryman says that Bill Nicholson had lots of simple phrases that he used in football. Not huge coaching things. He didn't get the notepad out with squiggly lines and all this confusing shit. Just simple phrases. And one of them was, when the ball goes dead, we come alive. How simple is that? But it means so much. So, yeah, getting the ball boys in on the game is good. And also, I think with Ange coming, like if you'd have said while we had Conte or Mourinho in, get the youth teams playing in a similar style of football, I think that would have been terrible. Because one, they ain't gonna ever use these youth players, and two, it's a shit style of football. So at least with Ange, it's all front foot stuff, and it's not. You don't have to be a genius to understand the system. So it would be quite easy to get all the under 17s, under 18s, under 23s all playing the same way. So it is more of a natural progression for them. And Hotspur says, yeah, Dorrington looks really promising. All right, so I think I had another couple of spurious rumours on Twitter here. So we'll have a look here. Dan Emmerich, Brian Hill. This is a name I haven't heard of. I might get him up in a minute. Tottenham. This is from Last Word of Spurs. I think they're getting this story from 90 Minute Football. I always seem to quote Last Word of Spurs. They just summarise everything easier, Tottenham Hotspur among the teams to have held talks with representatives of centre-back Robin Koch. Koch joined Leeds in the summer of 2020, but is expected to depart the club this summer following their relegation to the Championship. So what's his name? Robin Koch. Let's do the bullshit statistical test on him. I'm only doing this because I haven't seen the player, and this is a load of old horse shit anyway. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Let's get this all shared up. Did that come up? Yes, it has. All right, so here's the SOFA score. What all the kids I hear is using today to judge players, because they can't use their own eyes or their own heart. They can't feel how a player is. They have to look at numbers. So Eric Dyer somehow has a rating of 6.86 on this. Je ne sais pas. So let's have a look at Robin Koch. Is Robin Koch statistically better than Eric Dyer? So we've got a 6.86 to beat. Do we buy him? Here we go. SOFA scores coming in with I don't know how to type. Hang on. Have I got to spell his name right? Why doesn't his name come up? Hang on. Robin Koch. Let me just try Koch. This player doesn't exist. Ah, what? Stupid search. All right, is he more than 6.86? No. 6.63. 6.63. So statistically, no. It's not worth it. There we go. Bloody sofa score. What a load of arse. You know, sometimes I'll watch a game, and you'll see a player be absolute dog shit, and then you'll see someone go, oh yeah, but they ran 10 kilometers. Brilliant. They were running 10 kilometers to take a throw on maybe, but when the ball was live, they were doing fuck all. Last word on Spurs is also sad. Spurs head coach Ange Postecoglou approved the signing of Dejan Kulusevski, with Kulusevski himself also keen to stay at Tottenham Hotspur. Well, it might be a rumour, but that's a rumour I'd like to believe. You know, I'd go along with that. Then Real Madrid, David Raya. Looks like all the news. I'll just do a quick refresh on the news just to see if there's any, you know, because the transfer window is hotting up, isn't it? How do we do this? Following. I just want to see a bloody signing come in, you know, some guy wearing a Spurs shirt that's good. Nothing there. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, Rod Stewart is planning to leave behind rock and roll. Brilliant. Well, let's have a look at Perisic's stats. Chris Cowlin has retweeted this from Spurs Army. So Ivan Perisic for Croatia. Minutes played 120. Scored his penalty in the shootout. Touches 89. Accurate passes 39, 80%. Duels won 12 out of 17. Bloody hell. Why does he do that for us? Dribbles 3 out of 3. What? 3 tackles. A clearance off the line? Well, where's the Perisic we bought? Fuck's sake. Don't you despair of bloody players sometimes? Oh, well. What have we got here? Just on some, you know, I'll just check the number of subscriptions I got, because I'm getting very close to 500, which is I'm really chuffed about. Actually, I wasn't expecting it to happen so quick. What have we got? I was on 493 this morning. 496. Thank you everyone for doing that. I'm not going to ask you to do that. That's very kind of the people who have done that. Very nice. It won't be long before I'll be able to start milking all those corporate dollars, you know, selling, you know, ball shave 2000s. Yeah, I know you're here to watch a stream about football, but here's a word from someone who's given me 50 quid, and they're telling you, go and shave your balls. Every stream I watch, people are telling me to shave my balls. I keep telling them ZZ top, ZZ bottom. That's the way it's staying. King Dom. Ange will promote Aaron Maguire from the youth squad. He looks like Ron Weasley. Oh, well, I'm going to have a look at this. Aaron Maguire. Let's have a look. Oh my God. Oh, you're joking me. Hang on. Where's open link in new open image in new tab? Who says you don't get any sense of people who leave comments? Let's get this guy out. There we go. What do we reckon? Has King Dom got a point here? Alohomora. What does he do? What position does he play? Aaron Maguire. Where's he? What's his story? He's a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper. All right, let's have a look. I should have known this. Is he's one of the players that have been sitting on our bench for ages doing nothing? Blah, blah, blah. He's represented England and the Republic of Ireland. Can you do that now? You can just like play for whatever country you feel like. There's going to be a transfer market in international footballs before long, isn't there? He also plays the piano and is a keen tennis player. Oh. He got 5 appearances in the under-18 Premier League. So he's a young lad, very young lad. Don't know what year is he born. He's 18 years old. That's pretty young for a goalkeeper, isn't it? You don't tend to see keepers that young getting in, but he does look a bit like Ron Weasley. But I'm all for it. I'm all for a bit of genetic weirdness in the team, including, follically challenged people like myself. Although, remember the power of the comb over, folks. The power of the comb over. Oh, that feels good. Look at that. It even takes the glare off the light behind me. So I'm doing the comb over. I'm not doing it to make you think I'm not bald or anything. I'm just here to make it look like, diffuse the lighting a bit. He can use his Expelliarmus spell, which forces an opponent to drop whatever is in their possession. Yeah, that's right. That'd be cool, man, wouldn't it? Bit of magic between the sticks. Oh, it looks like Tot Spurs is going to put me on the spot here. Pick one Spurs players from the 90s, noughts, and 10s that you would love in this team right now. 90s, Paul Gascoigne. Zeros, Ledley King. 10s, Gareth Bale. How's that? That's just 3 off the top of my head. No surprises there, really. No surprises there. Now, how long are we going to wait before we see Spurs play West Ham? Because that isn't a million miles away yet. It's a million years away. Oh, come on. Fixtures. 18th of July. So we've got 18th of July against West Ham. Where are we playing Leicester City? Where's that? Somewhere in Asia. Is that Indonesia maybe? South Korea? And then we're playing Roma on the 26th of July. It's Singapore. So that route, you know what that route looks like to me? That's the cheap ass way of coming to Australia. If you're prepared to do 10 million stops on the way, then your ticket's like a few $100s. So I think maybe that's what Levy's doing on the way back. He's going to Perth, which isn't even that's the closest, pretty much the closest bit you can go to in Australia anyway, apart from Darwin. And then he's just doing the stop-offs on the way back. It's like, oh, fuck it, we might as well play football now, really. All right, I think the comments are drying up. So comments are drying up. I'm drying up as well. Not a lot else going on, I don't think. So I might end the stream there. But thanks for joining me, everyone. It's been fun as usual. Nice way to wake up. Looks like a bright, beautiful day. I'll just give one more check for kangaroos, because it would be cool to show you a kangaroo if I could. No kangaroos, but there's a lot of frost on the ground. Let's see what the temperature is here at the moment. It looks bloody freezing. Oh, it's bloody hell! It's 0.6 degrees. That's the mountain weather for you. 0.6 degrees. We're also up at a bit of altitude, not quite as high as the Mile High Hotspur Club. I think we're about a third of a mile high or half a mile high, something like that. Anyway, folks, thanks for joining me. I don't have any flashy intros, so I am going to uncomfortably click the end broadcast button. But I'll probably do a video a bit later than today if the thought crosses my mind. And see how we go. Maybe a stream tonight. I don't know yet. Don't know. But as always, come on, you Spurs. In